and grateful for their assistance. I've been in contact with our FHWA division administrator and also the acting FHWA administrator I've ever seen in North Carolina. And I just ask for your patience as we continue to try to solve the transportation issues here in North Carolina. Thank you.
We're also concerned about our healthcare facilities, our hospitals, our nursing homes. We have with us today Secretary of Department of Health and Human Services, Cody Kinsley.
Thank you, Governor. As Governor Cooper said, we have been focused at the Department of Health and Human Services on ensuring the stability of our healthcare system here in the region. We have 22 acute care hospitals in Western North Carolina. As of last night, all had their power restored back onto the grid. All of them had generator power during the storm, so we're able to continue operations and supporting their communities. And we've been in direct, near hourly contact with those facilities to support a number of resource requests. And with support from the North Carolina National Air Guard and emergency management, we've been able to get food, water, fuel, and other supplies to those healthcare facilities to make sure that they stay operating. Today, we went to Mission Hospital to see firsthand the heroic efforts of the individuals of that hospital, over 1,000 staff that have been sleeping there every day to ensure they could continue operations in supporting their community. We continue to work to bring them resources. They had their power back on Saturday night, and I know we're all focused, working very hard to restore water resources in that community, but meanwhile bringing in temporary solutions to support water there. We're also very focused on our long-term care community and facilities, skilled nursing homes, adult care homes, and we're proactively working with our insurers to identify individuals that are at home, on oxygen and other medical supplies to make sure we can proactively reach out to them, support emergency management to bring resources to them. We've activated our patient transfer system so that hospitals all across the state are stepping up to bring individuals in need of critical care out of hospitals in Western North Carolina if they can't get the care immediately. Our entire department has rallied every resource to make the difference. We're so grateful for the work of FEMA, who immediately brought forth a disaster medical assistance team on the ground at Mission Hospital, and we are in this for the long haul and into recovery. Thank you.
We also have with us the Secretary of Department of Public Safety, Eddie Buffalo, our head of the Highway Patrol, Freddie Johnson, and Congressman Chuck Edwards is here as well. We'll be glad to take your questions.
Yep, we're going to start with questions down here with TVD.
Governor, any update as to the number of people that remain unaccounted for missing as of this afternoon? And given the sheer volume of the death toll and the number of people missing, do you feel like enough was done to get people out before the storm hit?
Well, first, we knew that this was going to be a significant event, and local officials told people to get out of low-lying areas. We also know there are going to be a significant number of fatalities here. The devastation was beyond belief. And even when you prepare for something like this is something that's never happened before in Western North Carolina. Search and rescue teams are continuing to work. We even talked with some people who are still hoping to get and talk with their people, and as phone service comes back up, we'll know a little more. I'm going to ask Will Ray to respond specifically to see if he knows that number. Do you know the number of people? Okay, we don't know the number that has been requested, but we ask people to call 211 if they're trying to get a hold of somebody. Don't call 911 right now on that kind of issue.
Next question, WLS.
Yeah.
Governor Cooper, you mentioned progress being made on cell service. That's been a big issue in all areas of Western North Carolina. What makes you say progress? Elaborate more on that, and what areas can expect that cell service?
So we're getting reports from AT&T and Verizon. Their initial problems were significant in that landslides cut main fiber lines for them. We've asked them and pushed them to bring in their deployable assets, so more of them are getting into the area, and we're getting reports that more and more have cell service. Will, would you want to add something to that?
I would say progress is the key. We know we still have a lot of work to do, again, but I think we are pushing our commercial providers as well as other partners across the commercial space to bring in mobile assets of a variety of types to be able to provide to critical sites, to local EOCs, to some of our public safety answering points or other critical facilities. Again, they are very integral to what we do. They're a huge piece of it. We know communications is important for everybody, and so we're going to continue to push and encourage there.
Next question right here. Right here.
Governor.
Sorry. Yeah.
Governor, what do you say to the residents who feel that the local and federal response wasn't fast enough following this storm?
So first, people are working around the clock to provide help to them right now. Food, water, working hard to make sure that we've got shelters open all across this area, and working to get power back on. When you have a situation where communities are completely cut off, when first responders can't even get in because water is still there and rivers are rising right now as we speak, a lot of work is done. What we want to tell people is that more help is on the way and help is continuing. This is our main mission right now, and this is a massive coordinated effort to help this area both in the short term and in the long term.
Next question right here. Okay, Governor, I spoke with Buncombe County and Asheville. Both expressed frustration over the getting water. Said there was some kind of state level, they couldn't get the water storm and just need.
Yeah, I'm going to let Director Ray answer that issue.
So I think as we think about the size and scale of event, that's why we have taken the approach that we have, especially for distribution of water and food. So where we are able to get ground routes in reliably and safely, we are using those routes. There's, as Secretary Hopkins mentioned, there is a ground route in through on I-40. There is a ground route in via I-26. We know there are many areas of the western part of the state that still have major access challenges, which is why we've put in place the operation you see here of moving, using aircraft to move commodities into those impacted areas. Right now, we are trying to surge as much of the commodities into the entire impacted region. Yesterday, as an example, either via ground or by air, 30 counties had commodities delivered to them yesterday. We know that we're not going to be able to meet right now out of the gate the universal need that everyone has. That's why we are surging up both our distribution, so we're putting additional drivers on to be able to get more trucks on the road to get commodities in faster. We're continuing to increase the number of aircraft that are operating, and we're working with our partners in FEMA to increase the amount of commodities that we're getting pushed from them every day. Currently, we're on a cycle now of 40 trailers a day of food and water, in addition to what we're procuring on the open market or have in our warehouses that we are working to distribute into the entire impacted area across North Carolina.
Next question, Spectrum. We only got time for one question per hour. Spectrum.
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Do you have a timeline of when you expect to have running water?
So I think the impact to our water systems across the state, especially here in Buncombe and Asheville, are significant. As the administrator said, we're using some of our partnerships with the U.S. Army Corps and FEMA to get some teams on the ground to determine what is the long-range solution to get these water systems back online, as well as plan some of the mid-range solutions to get the hospital, other critical infrastructure back online so that folks do have running water. I think we are, and back to the previous question, I will say we have continued to deliver water both here to Buncombe County to support Buncombe as well as the city of Asheville. We know there's more need there. We know there is more than they need in both food and water, and we will continue to surge those resources in to be able to support that local jurisdiction.
Next question,
Can you expand on what you're doing to help Michigan get running water again? You've spoken with doctors who are having to do procedures, deliver babies, and they don't have sterile equipment to do so.
Right now, Mission Hospital is bringing in upwards of 20 trucks a day of water to support the hospital's operations, in addition to packaged sterile water so they can continue operations. We know it's a huge challenge for the hospital, and we're working actively with them to determine other potential strategies. As Director Ray said, midterm solutions that will get running pressurized water into the facility as soon as possible is a top priority for us.
Thank you. Next question. Open. Great.
Thank you.
So that's the time we've got. Yeah.
Care needs of our people in Western North Carolina. And lastly, I want to thank our